Hello. Welcome to TCFL Central. This is a special presentation of the 2025 College Football Playoffs. This is episode 4, and this is for the finals. Ohio State versus Indiana at the Hard Rock Stadium. But you can see how both teams got to the finals. Let's see, Ohio State had a bye in the first round, then played Texas A&M, won 31-27, then went to the semis against Georgia. Georgia defeated Mississippi 27-10. Ohio State defeated Georgia 20-10 to move into the finals. On the other bracket, Indiana had a bye and played in the quarterfinals against Alabama and defeated Alabama 56-31. Then moved on to the semifinals, and they played Oregon, which won the first round and second round, and then lost in the semis 45-41 in a shootout at the OK Corral there. That was the highest scoring game. No, Alabama threw 87-86. I guess it won the highest scoring game. Okay, anyway, with the Indiana win, they end up in the final. So in our version of the 2025 college football playoffs, we have a Big Ten final, which is the same as the real life Big Ten final. Unfortunately, Ohio State got knocked out in the first round, but Indiana did manage to get to the semis, and maybe to the finals. At this recording time, they are playing tonight against Oregon, just like in the bracket said here. In fact, if you look at this bracket, this is exactly the way that bracket turned out. Except, of course, at the time of the recording, we do not know what the Oregon-Indiana game ended up being. So, without further ado, I guess we can start. Well, first, let's take a quick look here. And you can see the stats. And you see, there you go. You can see that Oregon and Indiana have a couple guys in the top tier. In fact, Oregon has a whole bunch. But you see Indiana top offensive than Oregon. Defensively, neither are rated in power. Ohio State is first, Indiana second. And Ohio State doesn't have much there. Jackson rushing, not a whole lot compared to the leader. Ohio State quarterback Sam is rated fifth. So anyway, that's some statistics just based on the playoffs. So let's go ahead and head back to the brackets and get the finals underway. And playing the Hard Rock. Let's see, we have a Hard Rock Stadium here. Yep. And it has a little rain in the forecast. Regular, so we have Ohio State in the computer with the regular, so we can watch the play-by-play in video. So let's head over to Hard Rock. get the lineups. So. Okay, the line is even, so could be anybody's game, although Indiana has been tough to stop. Ohio State's defense has just been a little better than most. So as you see, Ohio State's defense starts with 5-10, and Indiana does have 3. Indiana is starting the Heisman Trophy winner in Mendoza as quarterback. You see his range way higher than Sam. So it'll be tough for Ohio State defense to try to stop this Indiana offense. That's probably the game right there. So let's Sam is the quarterback. Mendoza, Ohio State. Fernando Mendoza, quarterback in Indiana. So let's head over to Hard Rock and get the game started. Here's coin toss. And I guess we're ready to go.
Welcome to Hard Rock Stadium. Ohio ST against Indiana. For the Action PC Championship. Here's the kick from Radisic.
Okay, so there's the kickoff and the return. We'll be back after the game.
The kick from Radisic is returned 12 yards by Peoples, Gandy on the tackle.
So let's
Shotgun formation.
Listen to our announcer and watch the game.
Sayin to Smith, gain of 12, Pons on the tackle, first down. Sayin throws incomplete to Claire, Moore with the coverage. Sayin completes the pass to Smith, gain of 7, Pons on the tackle. 3rd and 3. Sayin throws incomplete to Claire, Moore on the coverage. McGuire from punt formation. Brady standing inside his own 10. "39-yard punt by McGuire, fair catch by Brady. 1st and 10 from the 15. Shotgun. Hemby with a gain of 4 on the play, McDonald on the tackle. 2nd and 6 from the 19. Mendoza calls out the signals. Hemby the ball carrier, gain of 3, downs on the tackle. 3rd and 3 at the 22. Mendoza completes the pass to Hemby, 9-yard gain, Reese on the tackle, first down. Mendoza calls out the signals. Mendoza on the carry, 7-yard gain, McLean on the tackle. Six-yard gain by Mendoza, Reese on the tackle, first down. Mendoza gains 9 on the sweep, Styles on the tackle. Mendoza to Hemby, 5-yard gain, Styles on the tackle, first down. Mendoza throws incomplete to Williams.
Pass interference. Defense. 15-yard penalty. Automatic. First down.
Three-yard run by Hemby, McDonald on the tackle. Cooper on the reverse, touchdown Indiana. Radisic makes the extra point, Indiana 7, Ohio State 0.
10-yard penalty.
Here's the kick from Radisic. The kick from Radisic is returned 13 yards by Styles, Boyd with the tackle. Sayan in the shotgun. Jackson on the carry, gain of 8, Moore on the tackle. Sayan to Tate, gain of 26, Fisher on the stop, first down. Smith faces a double at the line. Tate is doubled at the line. Jackson with the carry, gain of 9, Moore on the tackle. Sayan is sacked by Tucker, loss of 8. 3rd and 9. Sayan is intercepted by Moore, return of 11. 1st and 10 from the 49. Mendoza from the shotgun. Mendoza calls out the signals. Hemby the ball carrier, no gain, Styles with the tackle. 2nd and 10 from the 49. Mendoza calls out the signals. Four-yard gain by Black, Houston on the tackle. 3rd and 6. Ohio State jumped. Possible free play for Mendoza. Mendoza passes to Nowakowski, incomplete, downs on the coverage.
Defense. 5-yard penalty.
3rd and 1. McLean in the box. Mendoza completes the pass to Cooper, gain of 30, Matthews on the stop, first down, Indiana up 7. Sarrett is doubled at the line. Black the ball carrier, gain of 3, Atkinson on the stop. 2nd and 7. Mendoza completes the pass to Nowakowski, touchdown Indiana. The kick by Radisic is good, Indiana 14, Ohio. Here's the kick from Radisic. The kick from Radisic is returned 9 yards by Styles, Bootzinger on the tackle. Ohio State down 14. Shotgun. Sayan throws incomplete to Claire, Moore on the coverage. Jackson on the carry, gain of 2, Tucker on the tackle. 3rd and 8 from the 39. 1:05 in the first. Sayan calling signals. Sayan completes the pass to Claire, gain of 8, Moore on the tackle, first down. One-yard run by Jackson, Wheeler on the tackle. End of the first quarter, Indiana 14, Ohio State 0. Tate is doubled at the line. Sayan throws incomplete to Smith, Hans on the coverage. 3rd and 9. Sayan barks out the signals. Sayin with the pass to Jackson, 5-yard gain, Fisher on the tackle, McGuire back in punt formation. Brady waiting inside his own 10. "30-yard punt by McGuire, out of bounds. From the shotgun, Mendoza calls out the signals. Mendoza with a 12-yard run, McLean on the tackle, first down. 1st and 10 from the 29. Five-yard gain by Black, Matthews with the tackle. 2nd and 5. Hemby on the carry, loss of 1, Atkinson on the tackle. 3rd and 6 from the 33. Mendoza completes the pass to Williams, gain of 13, Styles on the tackle, first down. Mendoza completes the pass to Hemby, gain of 2, Styles on the stop. 2nd and 8 from the 48. Mendoza with the carry, gain of 8, Reese with the tackle, first down. Mendoza calling an audible. Hemby on the carry, gain of 7, Downs on the tackle. Mendoza throws incomplete to Williams, Styles on the coverage. 3rd and 3 at the 37. Mendoza to Cooper, incomplete. 4th and 3 from the 37. Mendoza to Cooper, incomplete, Matthews on the coverage. From the shotgun. Jackson on the carry, gain of 8, Daly on the tackle. Three-yard run by Jackson, camera on the stop, first down. 1st and 10 from the 48. One-yard run by Jackson, Tucker on the stop. 2nd and 9 from the 49. Sayin at the line. Sayin to Smith, incomplete, Pons on the coverage. 3rd and 9 from the 49. Sayin is intercepted by Pons, return of 20. Mendoza in the shotgun. The field is in lousy shape. Mendoza completes the pass to Sarah, gain of 10, Igbinosun on the tackle, first down, Indiana ahead by 14. Mendoza at the line. Hemby on the carry, no gain, McDonald on the tackle. 2nd and 10 at the 33. Mendoza passes to Sarah, 9-yard gain, Igbinosun on the tackle. 3rd and 1 from the 24. Mendoza changing the play. Mendoza throws incomplete to Stays, Styles on the coverage. 4th and 1 from the 24. Hemby the ball carrier, no gain, Reese on the tackle.
Grabbing the face mask. Defense. Automatic first down.
Nowakowski on the reverse, no gain, Curry on the tackle. 2nd and 10. Mendoza to Black, gain of 10, downs on the tackle, first down. 1st and goal. Stacked line. Mendoza with the carry, touchdown Indiana.
Ruling on the field is confirmed.
Radisic converts the extra point, Indiana 21. Oh, here's the kick from Radisic. The kick from Radisic is returned 8 yards by Innes, Gandhi on the tackle. Shotgun formation. Sayan throws incomplete to Jackson, Fisher on the coverage. 2nd and 10 from the 28. Sayan completes the pass to Claire, gain of 16, Moore on the tackle, first down, Ohio State hustling to the line. Sayan calling an audible. Sayan is intercepted by Fisher, return of 22. Shotgun. Eight-yard run by Black, Jackson on the tackle. Four-yard gain by Black, downs with the tackle, first down. Sarrett is doubled at the line. Black with a 9-yard run, Atkinson on the tackle, 2-minute warning. McLean in the box. Black lost one on the play, Houston on the tackle. 3rd and 2 from the 13. Mendoza completes the pass to Williams, gain of 8, Styles on the tackle, first down.
Offense. 10-yard penalty.
3rd and 12 at the 23. 1:32 in the second. Mendoza passes to Cooper, gain of 1, Matthews with the tackle. 40-yard attempt for Radisic. Clean snap from Langston. Radisic connects from 40 yards, Indiana 24. Radisic to kick off. The kick from Radisic is returned 30 yards by Peoples, Bootzinger on the tackle. 1st and 10 from the 40. Sayan in the shotgun. Sayan calling the signals. Jackson on the carry, gain of 16, Jones with the tackle, first down. Sayan with the pass to Tate, gain of 10, Sharp on the tackle, first down. Sayan calls out the signals. Sayan to Tate, gain of 14, Sharp on the stop, first down. Sayan at the line. Sayan completes the pass to Smith, 10-yard gain, Pons with the tackle, first down. Ohio State trailing by 24. Sayan to Smith, incomplete. 3rd and goal from the 10. 0:36 left in the second. Jackson split outside. Sayin completes the pass to Tate, touchdown Ohio St. The kick by Fielding is good, Indiana 24, Ohio. Fielding boots it. The kick from Fielding is returned 25 yards by Jackson, Pettijohn on the tackle. Mendoza from the shotgun. Mendoza is intercepted by Matthews, return of 0. Shotgun formation. The field is in lousy shape. Sayin to Tate, incomplete, Sharp with the coverage.
Pass interference. Defense. 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
Sayin is intercepted by Boykin, return of 0, end of the first. Here's the kick from Fielding. Onside kick recovered by Indiana. Mendoza in the shotgun. Four-yard gain by Hemby, Downs on the tackle. Mendoza on the carry, loss of 4, Curry on the tackle. 3rd and 10. Mendoza on the bootleg, gain of 6, Malone on the tackle, McCarthy to punt. "39-yard punt by McCarthy, touchback. Ohio St breaks the huddle. Shotgun. Sayin passes to Smith, gain of 19, Pons on the tackle, first down. Sayin calls out the signals. Sayin completes the pass to Smith, 6-yard gain, Farrell on the tackle. Ohio St trailing by 17. Jackson with a gain of 11 on the play, Farrell on the tackle, first down. 1st and 10 from the 44. Sayin to Tate, incomplete, Sharp on the coverage. Sayin calling signals. Jackson with a 5-yard run, Farrell on the tackle. 3rd and 5. Jackson lost 2 on the play, Tucker on the tackle. McGuire from punt formation. Brady waiting inside his own 10. "22-yard punt by McGuire, out of bounds. Shotgun formation. McLean in the box. Mendoza changing the play. Hemby lost 1 on the play, Reese on the tackle. 2nd and 11 from the 18. Mendoza to Williams, 38-yard gain, Styles on the tackle, first down.
Defense. 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
Mendoza completes the pass to Serrat, gain of 10, Igbinosun on the tackle. Hemby the ball carrier, no gain, Igbinosun on the tackle. 3rd and inches from the 19. Mendoza calls out the signals. Hemby on the carry, gain of 1, Pierce on the tackle, first down. Mendoza at the line. Mendoza the ball carrier, no gain, Malone on the stop. Mendoza completes the pass to Hemby, gain of 1, Styles on the stop. 3rd and 9. Mendoza passes to Williams, touchdown Indiana. The kick by Radisic is good, Indiana 31, Ohio. Here's the kick from Radisic. The kick from Radisic is returned 12 yards by Styles, Utzinger on the tackle. Sayin in the shotgun. Sayin changing the play. Jackson lost 2 on the play, Tucker with the tackle. 2nd and 12 at the 32. Sayin with the pass to Donaldson, loss of 2, Hardy on the tackle. 3rd and 14 from the 30. Sayin completes the pass to Jackson, gain of 4, Fisher on the tackle, McGuire back in punt formation. "38-yard punt by McGuire, return of 8 by Brady. Mendoza from the shotgun. Mendoza on the sweep, no gain, McLean on the tackle. Hemby on the sweep, gain of 5, Jackson on the tackle. 3rd and 5. Slow down offense. Hemby with a gain of 9 on the play, downs on the tackle, first down. Indiana taking their time. Mendoza calls out the signals. Mendoza passes to Becker, gain of 11, Styles on the tackle, first down, Indiana in no hurry. Mendoza is intercepted by Matthews, return of 45. 1st and 10 from the 26. Shotgun. Indiana showing blitz. The field is getting slick. Donaldson on the pitch, no gain, Tucker on the tackle. End of the third quarter, Indiana 31, Ohio State 7. 2nd and 10 from the 26. Smith is doubled at the line. Sayin passes to Jackson, incomplete. 3rd and 10 from the 26. Jackson split out wide. Sayin passes to Jackson, incomplete. 4th and 10. Indiana showing blitz. Sayin at the line. Sayin passes to Porter, incomplete, Farrell with the coverage. 1st and 10 from the 26. Hemby with the carry, loss of 1, Malone on the tackle. 2nd and 11 from the 25. Mendoza taking his time. Mendoza completes the pass to Cooper, gain of 2, Reese on the stop. 3rd and 9 from the 27. Slow down offense. Mendoza to Serrett, 14-yard gain, Igbinosun on the tackle, 1st down, slow down. Mendoza calls out the signals. Mendoza with a gain of 3 on the play, downs with the tackle. 2nd and 7 from the 44. Slow down. Two-yard run by Mendoza, downs on the tackle. 3rd and 5 at the 46. Slow down. Mendoza calling an audible. Mendoza to Black, 2-yard gain, Styles on the tackle. McCarthy to punt. Innes waiting inside his own 10. "42-yard punt by McCarthy, fair catch by Innes. Shotgun. Saying calling an audible. Sayin to Innes, incomplete. Sayin to Innes, incomplete. 3rd and 10 from the 10. Sayin with the carry, 2-yard gain, Daly on the stop. McGuire to punt. From his own end zone. "37-yard punt by McGuire, return of 0 by Brady. Mendoza is intercepted by Downs, return of 0. Shotgun. Sayin throws incomplete to Innes, Boykin on the coverage. 2nd and 10 at the 44. Sayin to Innes, incomplete, Boykin on the coverage. 3rd and 10 from the 44. Jackson in the slot. Sayin throws incomplete to Innes. McGuire back in punt formation. "50-yard punt by McGuire, out of bounds. Mendoza completes the pass to Serrett, gain of 11, Igbinosun on the tackle, 1st down, 1st and 10. Slow down offense. Mendoza completes the pass to Becker, 9-yard gain, Styles on the tackle. Mendoza working very slowly. Mendoza completes the pass to Serif, 13-yard gain, Igbinosun with the tackle, first down, Mendoza taking his time. Mendoza to Hemby, incomplete, Styles on the coverage.
Holding. Offense. 10-yard penalty.
Indiana by 24. Mendoza completes the pass to Hemby, gain of 1, Styles on the tackle. Slow down. Mendoza to Hemby, gain of 25, McLean on the tackle, first down. Indiana in no hurry. Mendoza barks out the signals. Three-yard run by Hemby, Jackson on the tackle. Indiana leads by 24. 2nd and 7 at the 42. 4 o'clock left in the game. They're in a slow down. Mendoza completes the pass to Cooper, gain of 10, Igbinosun on the tackle, first down, Mendoza taking his time. Hemby the ball carrier, loss of 2, Smith on the tackle. 2nd and 12 from the 34. Slow down offense. Hemby with a 1-yard run, Grady on the tackle. 2-minute warning. 3rd and 11 at the 33. Current drive, 9 plays, 61 yards. 6:43 off the clock. Two-yard run by Black, Grady on the tackle. Indiana leads by 24. 4th and 9 from the 31. Mendoza slow to the line. Black the ball carrier, 7-yard gain, Reese on the tackle. Shotgun formation. The field is in lousy shape. Sayin to Tate, incomplete. 2nd and 10 at the 24. Sayin completes the pass to Smith, touchdown Ohio St. The conversion failed, Indiana 31, Ohio St 13. Hence team on the field. Here's the kick from Fielding. Onside kick recovered by Indiana. Indiana 31, Ohio St 13.
Well, there you have it from Hard Rock Stadium. Indiana cruises past Ohio State 31-13 to become the 2025 college football champions. And as you can see, Indiana was up 24-7 at halftime. Not much scoring in the second half, and that's pretty much all they need. Indiana scored 3 touchdowns and a field goal before Ohio State even got on the board. They were down 24-0. Just a terrible game for Ohio State. The drive summaries and look. Ohio State punt, interception, punt, interception, interception, interception. Huh. Man, there was a ton of interceptions. There was even three Indiana interceptions. Two. One, two, and Indiana had three interceptions too. So not a whole lot happening there. And let's see, what's the turnover? I'll say had 4 turnovers. Indiana had 3. Passing, saying was terrible. Looks like he was terrible. No rushing attack at all for Ohio State. That seemed to be about the norm for the season. Indiana rushed for 150, quite a bit considering Ohio State's defense. Looking at the play stats again, saying just had a terrible game. Look at that 39 rating. Can't get a whole lot worse than that. 15 of 37, 220 yards, 4 interceptions, 2 touchdowns. Only 1 sack, that's kind of surprising. Mendoza, on the other hand, threw for 262. But he had 3 interceptions and 2 touchdowns. And his rating was only 83, coming in at 133 something. That Ohio State kind of did a number on him, but the problem is Indiana still was able to score, probably because of the field position from the interceptions. Look at that, Mendoza led to Indiana rushing with 50. Jackson, Ohio State had 60. Donaldson, nothing, and saying 1 minus 6, that's probably the sack. 2 for minus 6. Stephen White Smith did pick up 130 yards and a touchdown. He had that long one at the end of the game, 76 yards. That's about it on the receiving side of Indiana. We had Hemby and Sarak, both had 6 receptions. Leading yardage was Williams, 68, got a couple touchdowns. No fumbles in the game, but 7 interceptions. Okay, that's kind of it there. You can see the 4 interceptions in Indiana, all by different players. While Matthew Jr. had 2 interceptions out of 3 interceptions for Ohio State. There's your play-by-play. As we kind of surmise, looks like Ohio State's 4 turnovers gave Indiana excellent field position, and Indiana took advantage of it, winning again 31-13 here at Hard Rock Stadium. So, look at that. Back past Mendoza after Mendoza's Soto game against Ohio State. But Mendoza doesn't care. He's won the college football championship. Just a few other things around here. You want to look at Indiana's offense. You see, number 1, Georgia had the best defense. Indiana overtook Ohio State in the power rankings after their victory tonight. So, the only thing I want to do is file the stats. And then we'll wrap this game up. Okay, well, I hope you enjoyed our little preview series. We did not try to play the matchup as they occurred in real life. We started from track. You see again that the upper bracket kind of worked out pretty good, except for not positive. Indiana did get by Oregon. That game in real life is tonight. But down here in the Ohio State bracket, Miami did beat Texas A&M, which went on to beat Ohio State, which went on to beat Mississippi. Mississippi won in real life against Tulane. Then they defeated Georgia, advanced to the semifinals against Miami, and Miami won, so they're headed to the finals in real life. And again, the Oregon-Indiana game tonight, the winner there will play Miami for the championship in real life. So, again, that's it from uh, TCFL Central. This is Gary signing off. Have a wonderful evening.